Hello, good morning, students. We have discussed in the previous video the numerical sums pertaining to the ray optics. So, in this particular video, we start discussing the wave optics. So, energy is a capacity to do work. Energy neither being created nor destroyed, but the energy can be transformed into other forms. One form of energy can be transferred into other forms. The total energy of the whole universe is constant. The energy is transported by two methods, namely by particle motion. Example, bullet. When we fire a bullet carries a kinetic energy. Potential energy of the gun is converted into kinetic energy of the bullet. When physically bullet hits an object, the object breaks into pieces. That is the work done by the bullet. The energy is transported by means of particle motion. The another one is by wave motion. Energy can be transported from one region to other region. Both energy and momentum can be transported from one region to another region by wave motion. Wave is a disturbance set up in a given medium. The particles of the medium do vibrate about their mean position. The particles which get disturbed, in turn they disturb the next particles. Particles do not move from one end to the other end through the medium. They simply execute oscillations about their mean position, whereas energy is transferred from one particle to another particle. A kind of disturbance is set up in the medium. That disturbance we call it as a wave. So wave carries both energy and momentum. For example, if you keep a paper boat on a water surface, and if you disturb the water surface with your fingertip, the circular ripples are being formed. These circular ripples, what are the circular ripples formed over the surface of the water? It is a disturbance set up in the water medium. Water particles vibrate about their mean position up and down, whereas waves travel along the surface of the water. So water waves are transverse waves. Then when these disturbances or waves reach the paper boat, keep at a certain distance, the paper boat is set into oscillation. Thus, the waves transfer both momentum and energy to the boat. So, in the previous chapter, we discussed in detail the various properties of light, namely rectilinear propagation of light. Light always travels along straight line. Second is a reflection, bouncing back of light. Light when made to incident on the objects is called reflection of light. Refraction, bending phenomena of light when light travels from one medium to another medium. Dispersion, when a white light is made to incident on the prism, the white light breaks up into 7 constituent colors. Interference, waves, two or more waves when they intersect or superpose each other, a phenomena called interference occurs. Interference is the phenomena of superposition of two or more waves. Diffraction is bending phenomena of light around the sharp edges or the corners. Polarization is another property of a light. Means when unpolarized light is made to pass through certain crystals, light vibrations can be confined to one particular plane called polarization. Photoelectric effect already you have studied. When a light of suitable frequency made to incident on a photosensitive material, electrons are ejected from the surface of the metal called as photoelectric effect. Einstein's equation also you have studied. Compton effect, Raman effect. So these last two, 9th and 10th, Compton effect and Raman effect are not there for the syllabus. So you will be studying the properties up to photoelectric effect. The example for interference is the soap bubble illuminated with a light appear colorful. The grease or the oil spilled in water illuminated with light appears to be colorful. A spider web illuminated with a light appears colorful. So these are all the examples for interference. Diffraction. A compact disc illuminated with a white light appears colorful. If you change the orientation of the compact disc, the colors appear to change. So diffraction is a bending phenomenon of light around the sharp edges or the corners of an obstacle. Further, theories of light. Different theories of light were proposed in order to explain all the listed properties of light. So we have listed totally 9 properties. In order to explain all these properties of light and the phenomena that occur in the nature, different theories of light were advanced or proposed. So in the year 1637, a Dutch scientist called Descartes proposed corpuscular theory. According to Descartes' corpuscular theory of light, if you consider a source of light, the light energy is given out or emitted in the form of particles, or particles are shot out from the source with enormous speed. The light energy is transported from one region to other region by motion of particles. Based on this corpuscular theory, he could explain the laws of reflection as well as the laws of refraction, even the rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear propagation is light travels always along the straight line. So these particles are shot out. The particles are named as corpuscles, and these corpuscles or the particles are shot out from the source with enormous speed. Particles moving with enormous speed, they do travel in straight, hence it could explain the rectilinear propagation of light. Later it was Newton who made use of the work done by the Descartes and developed this corpuscular theory. According to Newton's corpuscular theory, the light energy is transported from one region to another region from source in the form of particles called corpuscles. Different colors of light are attributed to different sizes of the particles. And he wrote a famous book named Optics, and it was so popular that it was considered that Newton has originally formulated this corpuscular theory, but Newton made use of the work done by the Descartes. The demerits of this Newton's corpuscular theory. This Newton's corpuscular theory predicted that light travels faster in a denser medium than in a rarer medium. When light travels from rarer to denser, after refraction the light bends towards the normal. The speed of light in the denser medium increases according to Newton's corpuscular theory, but it was experimentally disproved. When light travels from air to water, the speed of light in the water, it is less than the speed of light in the air. In other words, the speed of light decreases in denser medium. Second point is, this Newton's corpuscular theory of light could not explain the other properties of light. So as I said, we have listed 8 to 10 properties. This Newton's corpuscular theory could not explain the dispersion of light, interference of light, diffraction of light, polarization, and photoelectric effect, Compton effect, Raman effect. Then the second theory was proposed in connection with the nature of light in the year 1678. In the year 1678, it was a Dutch scientist called Christian Huygens proposed wave theory of light. Proposed wave theory of light. So the light energy is transported from one region to another region in the form of waves, as the water waves carry both momentum and energy. Similarly, the light energy is also transported in the form of a disturbance called as wave. And this Christian Huygens wave theory could explain all the properties of light, that is rectilinear propagation, reflection, refraction, dispersion, interference, diffraction, as well as polarization, but failed to explain the photoelectric effect. Okay, so except photoelectric effect, all the properties of light could be explained on the basis of mechanical wave theory of light. As you know, mechanical waves require material medium for the propagation of waves. So second demerit of the Christian Huygens wave theory is, it predicted the necessity of material medium for the wave propagation. So the light from the sun reaches to the earth traversing through medium. Medium is a must for the wave propagation. Whether it is a sound waves or a water waves, water waves require water medium, sound waves require air medium. Sound also travels in water. Water is the medium required for the propagation of sound. The sound also travels through solids. The solids act as a medium. So there is a necessity of medium for the wave propagation according to Christian Huygens. Because of these two demerits, the Huygens wave theory was discarded later. But we know that light even travels through vacuum. The sunlight reaches to the earth traversing through vacuum. So this atmosphere surrounds this earth and extends up to several hundred kilometers. Beyond that, there is a vacuum. Then question arises, how come the sunlight reaches the earth without a medium beyond this atmosphere? When this question was posed, then it was Christian Huygens hypothecated the existence of a medium called ether. Initially, according to Huygens, the light energy is transported in the form of longitudinal waves. So in the first year, you have studied the difference between the transverse waves and longitudinal waves. Later, it was some scientists beyond doubt proved that light waves are transverse in nature. In a transverse waves, particles vibrate in a perpendicular direction to the propagation of the waves. So, in the year 1850, a scientist called Foucault experimentally showed that speed of light in water, that is in denser medium, is less than the speed in air medium. So it was Christian Huygens hypothecated the existence of a luminiferous medium called ether, which is a highly elastic and low density, which pervades the whole 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 universe. Means the sunlight reaches to the earth traversing through this ether medium, which is a highly elastic and having low density. So last year you have studied in sound chapter, the velocity of the wave is given by under root the elasticity bulk modulus by density. So velocity of the wave is directly proportional to root of a bulk modulus, that is elasticity, and inversely proportional to the density. Since light travels with enormous speed in the medium, then the bulk modulus of the air medium is very high, or ether medium is very high, and it has a low density. That's why the sound travels with enormous speed, and this ether medium pervades the whole universe. Since we are receiving a light from the moon, we are receiving light from distant stars other than the sun, right? So all this light reaches to the earth traversing through a medium called ether, which is highly elastic and low density. But later experimentally it has been proved that there is no such a medium physically exist. Again the same question was posed, how come the light from the sun reaches to the earth without any medium, even the ether medium between the sun and the earth? That's why this Huygens wave theory was discarded or rejected, and a new theory was proposed. In the year 1801, it was Thomas Young. He conducted experiments on interference and confirmed that light has a wave nature. Based on this wave nature of light, all the properties of light could be explained except photoelectric effect on the basis of Huygens wave theory. Wavelength of light being extremely small, we know the wavelength range of visible light, it is a 4000 angstrom units to 4000 angstrom units to 8000 angstrom units. For yellow it is a 5000 angstrom units. Let us take 5000 angstrom units is 0.5 micrometer. Wavelength being very small, extremely small, 0.5 micrometer, light can be assumed to approximately travel in straight line. So in the examination will be asked a question, when light travels in the form of wave, how could the light travel in a straight line? So the wavelength of light being extremely small as compared to the sound waves and water waves, so the light can be assumed to approximately travel in straight line. So because of these demerits, the Huygens wave theory was discarded or rejected, The new theory was proposed in connection with the nature of light, that is Clerk-Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. Clerk-Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory. Clerk-Maxwell, he was studying the electricity and magnetism and developed a set of equations describing the laws of electricity and magnetism, and using these equations he derived the wave equation. So the light travels with enormous speed. Thus the Clerk-Maxwell predicted the existence of electromagnetic waves. Experimentally, he did not show the existence of electromagnetic waves, but he predicted the existence of electromagnetic waves based on the equations what he developed. The speed of these electromagnetic waves can be given by the ratio of electric field to the magnetic field. Electric field to magnetic field. E stands for electric field, B stands for magnetic field. The ratio of these two fields amounts to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, which was, this calculation was in good agreement with the experimental value. So 3 into 10 to the power of 8 is 30 crore meter per second. 30 crore meter per second, the numerator is too large compared to the magnetic field. Okay, E is too large compared to the magnetic field B, hence we are getting such a huge number, 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So it was Clerk-Maxwell predicted the existence of electromagnetic waves on the basis of a set of equations he developed describing the laws of electricity and magnetism. According to Clerk-Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory, we are considering 3 coordinates here, x, y, z. When light advances from the origin along x direction, the light or electromagnetic radiation, gamma rays, radio waves, infrared radiations, microwaves, right, visible light, all electromagnetic radiations traversing along x-axis consists of time varying and space varying. Time varying and space varying electric field. Here the blue line is the graph for electric field, whereas the red line is the graph for the magnetic field. Electric field varies periodically or varies with time and space. Correspondingly, the magnetic field also varies. Periodically, magnetic field varies with time and space. Both electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. Both magnetic field and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. And also both the fields are perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the wave. So the light waves are transverse in nature. So when light advances or travels through a medium or vacuum, then the light consists of both time varying electric field and magnetic field perpendicular to each other and also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of light. Here the light even can travel through vacuum. In vacuum there are no particles of the medium. There are variations of electric field and magnetic field. Hence According to Clerk Maxwell wave theory of light, electromagnetic wave theory of light, light consists of the time varying, space varying electric field and magnetic field perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. Right. So the speed of light can be given by the product of frequency of radiation and wavelength of radiation. So it was Maxwell who predicted the existence of electromagnetic waves based on a set of equations developed for the laws of electricity and magnetism. So according to Clerk Maxwell's, the light is a non-mechanical wave consisting of electric field and magnetic field. Later in the year 1890, it was Heinrich Hertz first time produced radio waves. They are the electromagnetic waves in the laboratory. Heinrich Hertz predicted the radio waves in the laboratory, and frequency of such waves are measured in unit called hertz. Then J.C. Bose and Marconi used these radio waves for broadcasting. So here Clerk Maxwell predicted the existence of electromagnetic waves. Heinrich Hertz first time produced these electromagnetic waves in the laboratory, and J.C. Bose and Marconi put in use these waves produced in the laboratory. First time they applied practical application of the radio waves was made by J.C. Bose and Marconi later. Okay. So in the next video we discuss the Huygens principle. In this particular chapter we will be discussing interference diffraction. Polarization is not there for the syllabus. This in the view of COVID-19 the syllabus has been reduced, and polarization and resolving power of microscope, resolving power of telescope are deleted from the regular syllabus. So we will be discussing the interference phenomena in detail, diffraction phenomena in detail based on Huygens wave theory. Even these properties, interference and diffraction, can also be explained on the basis of Maxwell's wave theory, but as per the syllabus we are discussing in detail the interference and diffraction on the basis of a Huygens wave theory, though the Huygens wave theory was discarded in the present context. Okay, thank you.